funny enough, my dad actually, I don't know if he knew Aaron before I did, but we grew up in the same church, kind of. I was only at that church until about, like, 4th grade-ish. Yeah, it's funny enough, my dad remembers Aaron, like, as a kid playing guitar in, like, their, like, I guess worship band. So I've, like, by association known Aaron for a really long time, and when Michael was like, oh yeah, we have Aaron Miller in our band, I was like, oh, why does that name sound so familiar? And then when I met him, I was like, oh, hey. Aaron is willing to put in the hard work. He's super, super helpful. Anything you ask of him, he's super down to just like, yeah, let's do it. So I really appreciate that about him. He's just very knowledgeable on like setting up a whole set and then tearing down a whole set and finding solutions on how we can make something look aesthetically pleasing, and he's just really great at all of that stuff. It's a great asset.
Aaron's a goofball. He tells dad jokes because he's a dad. He's a cheesy dude. He's cool.
I met Aaron back with our other band, Midnight Escape Artists, and Aaron and I worked really hard in that band and worked with each other on a lot of music since then. We did more than just Midnight Escape Artists. We did a wedding band together. I've known Aaron since 2013, so we've been doing this for a long time. Aaron is one of the truest musicians I will ever play with. He genuinely plays everything. He thinks very musically about things. He's very talented. He's one of the hardest working people I've ever met, and man, I hope he sticks around too.
He's one of the most mature people I've ever met. I mean, he's a dad. He's got that really strong dadly presence, and yeah, he's just super nice and encouraging, and it's great to have him around.
I met Skunk through Michael. He was living at Michael's house at some point, and we just kind of met then. And then at some point, Skunk actually asked me to be a part of his band, his punk rock band, State Waste, and that was really fun. I drummed for that for a while. That was a lot of fun. And then at some point, Michael was like, "Okay, well, I want to start doing the Cosmic Ocean thing," and we're like, "Okay, cool." He just kind of like plucked us and put us in it, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. What's fun about Skunk is his intense ferocity. He just goes like all in, balls deep, just with all his body, all his mind, all his soul into just whatever we're doing. And like there's a song on the record that, man, that guy's voice just like, you just really feel it.
Skunk. I prefer to call him Steven, but everybody else in the band prefers to call him Skunk. And I don't really know the story why. I'm sure I've been told the story why, but I don't really remember. He's also a very, like, passionate character. He's always had this, like, angsty energy about him, but it's good and it comes alive in the band, so that's super awesome of him. Yeah, Skunk is Steven.
I met Skunk back in high school, and funny enough, the first show I ever played with any band, there was this band called Pain Policy. They were a local thrash metal band at our high school. Skunk was in that band, and he was one of my first bandmates I ever had, really, because of that. So he and I go pretty far back, too. He kind of got a lot closer to my sister. They became good friends, and as a result, I became really good friends with him, too. He's, you know, one of my best friends now. Skunk is a really smart guy. He's really smart. And he's pretty funny too, and he's a really good composer, really fun lyricist. I love his lyrics on our album, and he's really motivating for us. He's really encouraging us to keep going, and I really appreciate him.
Skunk's a character. You never know what to expect from Skunk. Skunk's a goofy dude. He's fun. You never know when he's gonna show up to shit, but when he does, he's a character.
I met Dino back in high school. He's probably one of the oldest friends I have out of the group. Dino's just a really close friend of mine, and you know, we wrote together a lot accidentally, and that's how we got this whole thing started, actually. Dino is one of the silliest people I've ever met. He can turn any normal situation into a really funny situation. I love his creativity. I love that he thinks, I don't want this to come off as an insult, but I like that he thinks very childlike about music. He thinks very primitively, what sounds good, and that's very good to the opposite side of my coin, where I tend to think more complicated about things. So I love working with Dino.
He's such a character, that guy, and he brings such a different energy to the project that I don't think we could do without. So thank you for that, Dino. If you're watching, you're handsome.
Dino. I like to call him our little nugget because his name reminds me of those little dino nuggets. Doing activities with Dino, I've learned he is better not in motion, and it's quite funny. He's just like this, like, he's not grumpy, but he's just kind of like, he's a funny character. It's funny to watch him. You will look over at any point in time and he's making a face that'll just like crack you up. And I think he knows it, but it's just like, he just does it, and it's funny. So I appreciate about the comedic relief that Dino adds to this band.
What's great about Dino is his no bullshit mentality. Just like, I want it this way, and that's how we're going to do it. And that's great. I just love that in a person, how candid that is. Yeah, I love a person like that. It's great.
Mark Della O. I'm pretty sure I met also at college. I think it was some sort of music class. I want to say it was like our like pop ensemble. Yeah, I mean, it's always been a pleasure to play with Mark. I've played with him for many years, so I don't know. I've just always really liked his personality. I just feel like he's a very grounded person. He's very willing to listen and wants to hear other points of view. It's just good having a conversation with Mark, honestly. He has good energy.
I met Mark through one of my other friends. We went on a hike together. He seemed like a cool guy. And then Mark went to the same college that I did, and we got involved with some projects, realized his playing is really good, and that he's a nice guy, so I asked him to join the band. Mark is a really excellent person to be around professionally. He's a really good spirit. He's just really chill and fun to be around, and we have lots of chess games, which are a lot of fun.
Mark's a ray of sunshine. That guy's always got a smile on his face. It's a good balance for me because I'm very unhappy all the time.
Mark is just really the coolest guy. So chill, so professional, does his homework, just comes ready to play, and we get shit done and then get to hang out afterwards, and yeah, really chill.
Michael, I was racking my brain about this. I think we met through a mutual friend. We went on a hike together, and he's been part of the Santa Clarita music scene. So I kind of fell into that through College of the Canyons, and since he is one of the best musicians in the area, naturally we just were attracted to each other's musicianship and started playing in projects here and there. He's a wizard, man. He's super good at chess, and he's just wicked smart. That's what Michael is, just a whiz.
I met Michael in an old band I was in that I was brought in through another friend, and I didn't know Michael. And just in being in that band, we ended up just hanging out on the street because that's kind of seemed the communal place to hang out. We would record at Mikey's place, and just in doing all that, Michael and I got really close, and then he just eventually introduced me to the rest of the friends. I didn't really have many friends at the time, and he just really welcomed me into the group, and eventually he just started asking me to be a part of his projects, and here I am. What's great about Michael, which is also like the worst thing about Michael, is that he's such a freaking perfectionist. He's really a genius in the most wonderfully frustrating, amazing way, which really goes really hand in hand with my just like raw, I just play kind of vibe. And so when we work together, things just happen.
He's Michael Whelan. He's been one of my best friends since I met him in high school. As we work well together. He's my writing partner for music. We come up with ideas, we bounce off of each other, we make cool shit. It's fun.
I met Michael a number of years ago when we did a songwriting class together. He's super good at memorizing dates, so he probably knows the exact year. I don't. But we ended up being in the same group unintentionally every single time for that whole semester, and by the end I think we had realized it just works. And so I think, if I'm remembering correctly, later that year he asked me to be in what was then Out of Time, which is now Cosmic Ocean. So that's kind of how we met and started working together. Michael's very passionate about his music and about his friends, and he really cherishes putting those two together, and that's why Cosmic Ocean exists.
She's a really good singer.
Yeah.
She's a damn good singer.
Met Emily playing in a college band. Emily and I went to College of Canyons in Santa Clarita together, and so we played in a band called Cover Charge, which was just playing pop rock music, and it was a lot of fun. So we connected outside the band. Michael and I brought us together, and we've been playing music since then. She is, I mean, she's adorable. What can you say? She's a very talented singer too. These are tough songs, and there's very few singers that can really keep up with that, especially singers that are that's their first instrument. So it's impressive.
Actually, I didn't meet Emily first. I actually was in a band way back when I was first learning how to play guitar with her dad in a band at my church, and he was just like the most wonderful, sweetest, like cool man. And he actually gave me my first snare drum for Christmas, and that just inspired me to keep playing drums, which is probably how I got to be in this band at first. But then I guess Michael met Emily somewhere and then brought her in, and then just her passion for music. The way she processes music is very different from the rest of us, probably because she doesn't exactly play an instrument. Her voice and her words are her instrument, and because of that, she just internalizes everything, and it just comes out of her, and you can see it. And it's really one of the most satisfying things when she really gets into a song, and you just can't help but like see it come out of her, and in the most wonderful way. That's so inspiring.
I met Emily in a songwriting class in college in 2018, though I had been aware of her before in gigging bands locally. I saw her perform live back in like 2016 with her older band. So I was aware of her already, and then when we met in our songwriting class, it was pretty clear that I liked how she wrote. Emily is probably one of my closest friends at the moment, and is one of the nicest people I think I'll ever meet, and I hope I keep her around for as long as I can.